Hi, folks. Welcome to another deep dive where we unpack a key luxury project in Hyderabad's Western Corridor. Previously, we looked at Jayberry Pinnacle, which firmly sits in the luxury bucket on Golden Mile Layout Road, a strong product with good specs, offering low density living. I've been building a dataset that looks at various set of parameters, and I've broadly segmented Hyderabad projects into four buckets: affordable, premium, luxury, and ultra luxury. Continuing that theme, I'm here to talk about yet another luxury project in the Western Corridor in Neopolis. It's called Brigade Gateway, Brigade's first branded residences in Neopolis. Now, let me be upfront. Brigade knows its buyer pool well and typically prices 15 to 25% above local benchmark. We see this pattern across the projects in Bangalore or even Chennai, as well as prior Hyderabad launches as well. The question is, for Brigade Gateway, is that 20-25% premium justified? Let us find. Now, firstly, let's try and understand what are we actually paying for. And when we look at this, we analyze six different dimensions. We look at the location, project, unit, the investment thesis as well, right? To really understand a well-rounded perspective of a particular project. Coming to the location itself, it is clearly one of Gateway's clear advantage. It sits right next to the Trumpet Junction, making it a very seamless ORR to ORR drive. Either you want to go to the airport or to other parts of the city. We also know that the infra is going to eventually catch up. There is news around metro extension all the way up until this particular junction here. That also makes it a great choice for future, where the metro sort of covers this particular part of the Neopolis strip. So, from a location standpoint, there are a few things that sort of set it apart. The other aspect is the views. One of the main reasons why there's a premium pricing associated with Kokapet and in general this particular belt is the views it can offer, be it skyline views to the right or to the north, or the Osman Sagar views. Now, let me be honest, I highly doubt that mid floor units are unlikely to get any meaningful views in Brigade Gateway. So, if lake or panoramic views are a priority, you're really targeting the top few floors. There is a penthouse as well. There's a duplex on the top floors. That's probably where you will get any meaningful lake views. The skyline views itself are worthy of consideration. Now, going a little deeper into the project itself, Hyderabad will continue to see rise of branded residences. I personally know at least 4 to 5 projects that will be hitting the market soon. Brigade is the only developer with a WTC or World Trade Center tie-up in South India. That association adds a premium. Now, for someone who is somewhat rational like me, is this premium emotional? In my opinion, partly it is. But the practical angle is the gentry. I've looked at some of the prior profiles who've bought into this project, the Brigade Gateway specifically, and the profile of residents is very diverse. You're almost buying a slice of the global universe, somebody who has had a lot of exposure globally, coming back to India, they see Brigade as a great way to settle down. Right? That's the kind of environment that you're buying into. Also, if you look at historical projects that they've done with this branding, they, a project that was delivered about 10 years ago in Bangalore still continues to deliver a very strong premium. If you look at their resale values, they're going about 18 to 20K based on the unit that you're buying. Now, beyond what the project has to offer, what the location has to offer, there is a USP of the ecosystem itself. There is direct access to Orion Mall within the community. This is a 9.7-acre parcel. And honestly, the residences component, I would believe, is about 4 to 5. But then you're also buying into easy access to the mall, a 5-star hotel, which is by Intercontinental, within the same mixed use development. The practical angle here again is also it adds to day-to-day convenience and the lifestyle elevation. It is relatively low dense despite being a high rise because you only have 5 or 6 units per floor in the residential towers. A full set of amenities. Again, this has become a baseline for any of these projects, especially in this segment. So I would not really say that's a differentiator here, except for the fact that they'll do it in a brigade, fashion. The last thing that stands out for me, at least for this project, is a unit plan with at least 65.6% carpet area. Again, looking at the data, it is the highest in this particular segment, in the luxury segment, where as you go into luxury and ultra luxury segment, there's more and more space that's dedicated to common spaces, be it your tower lobby or your lift lobbies. Um, Looks like Brigade has found a nice way to dedicate a lot of the space to where it matters. The specs are solid: marble flooring, Gohe Kohler fittings. That is what you would expect for a category like this, and also finishes that are consistently, comparable with some of the other similar category products in Hyderabad, and also Brigade's prior projects. Now, that is the value that you get. Right? We are paying X. There's everything that we get for that X. Now, why are we talking about this? Especially when a project is already landed, most people are probably aware. The news that I have is they've sold out the Tower A. Right? That is solid absorption despite the price points. That speaks to Brigade's larger buyer pool. They're well known across not just Hyderabad, actually not Hyderabad, but in other parts of Indian metros, and actually help gain momentum. But they now have inventory left over in Tower B, which is positioned to be slightly more premium than Tower A. Now let's cover the other aspects of pricing. The smallest configuration, which is roughly around 3,000 square feet, 3,067 to be precise, goes for about 5 CR. Once you factor all other aspects, that is what you should be looking at. With a rough effective price of about 15 to 16,000 per square feet. Brigade's pricing policies are also quite unique. They layer PLCs quite aggressively. That's because they guarantee some sort of skyline views or lake views. And PLC is relatively a new component for Hyderabad as a market. Now, with that, what's the verdict? What are we, looking at in terms of the value proposition? A strong Brigade brand, which has 40 years of legacy, plus a WTC association, and the perceived quality of the community, which is the gentry that we're talking about. A large integrated mixed-use ecosystem, malls, hotel residences, all packed within that 10-acre parcel, which supports a more long-term desirability of the project. Higher carpet area efficiency and much more robust specs relative to its peers actually does put this in a very, very commanding uh, position from an end use perspective. The investment theses, our models sort of indicate around 3.5% rental yield is possible if you get in now. And this yield sort of keeps depreciating closer to the position based on how historical trends have been, sort of indicating. In my opinion, growth is rather capped despite strong benchmarks. Uh, the typical benchmark that gets referred is my home puja that goes for about 25. So if you're selling at 16, 25 is what you should be looking at. But to be very honest, given the supply and amount of floors within this particular project, you have G plus 57, whereas Buja has much lower number of floors, much lower density. So there is no equivalent like to like comparison, but I would expect the growth to be quite tapped after a certain point. With that, if your priority is purely price per square feet arbitrage, this might not be the most efficient play. If you're purely looking to optimize price and maybe an investment thesis as well, might not be the smartest choice. But if you really value brand, the ecosystem, long-term livability, very stable returns, something that you can easily liquidate after a really long tenure, let's say 10 years from now, this is a brand that will definitely have enough buyer pool given that WTC tab, which is what we see in Hyderabad. And then the 15 to 25% premiums can be rationalized. And lastly, for a product like this, please do partner with any agency that you believe is a good fit. We are here to help as well. With the right negotiation and structuring of the deal, we can offer meaningful leverage. Think of at least few months of EMI saved, or even better pricing models. We're happy to make it available via WhatsApp link. So please do drop us a note if you'd like to work with us to negotiate, to structure the deal, and to create that pricing leverage that you would not otherwise get. With that, hope you found the video useful. Please do drop your comment or let us know how we can help so that we can take the next set of videos and iterate and improve upon. See you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.